In a bustling city park, hidden beneath the canopy of a massive oak tree, there was an old wooden bench. Weathered by years of use, its surface was etched with initials, dates, and faint memories of those who had sat there. Few people noticed it anymore, but for those who did, life had a peculiar way of changing after they spent time on that bench. Ethan was the first to find it. He was a man in his early 40s, worn down by life. Once a confident professional with a loving family, he had lost his job due to a bad decision, and everything seemed to crumble from there. Shame kept him distant from his family, and hopelessness anchored him to his routine of wandering aimlessly through the city. One particularly heavy morning, his legs gave out near the old bench, and he sank onto it, feeling the weight of his failures. As Ethan stared blankly at the ground, an elderly man approached and sat beside him. He didn't ask any questions or offer any advice at first. Instead, he simply said, "This bench has heard more stories than you can imagine. If you're ready, maybe it'll hear yours too." Ethan hesitated, but something in the man's quiet demeanor made him speak. For the first time in months, he poured out everything: his mistakes, his regrets, his fears of being irreparably broken. The old man listened intently, nodding now and then. When Ethan finished, the man didn't lecture or pity him. He simply said, "Sometimes, losing everything clears the way for something new. Start small. What's one thing you can do today to feel a little better?" Those words stayed with Ethan. That evening, he forced himself to look for work, not the high-paying corporate roles he used to have, but anything to help him feel productive again. A small cafe in his neighborhood hired him as a part-time barista. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Weeks later, Mia stumbled upon the same bench. A young woman in her 20s, Mia was already making waves in the corporate world, yet she felt an emptiness that no achievement seemed to fill. Work consumed her, leaving no room for the passions she once loved. On a rainy afternoon, exhausted and seeking shelter, she sat on the bench, scrolling through her phone and ignoring the world around her. A little boy appeared, clutching a colorful sketchpad. Without hesitation, he showed her his drawings, bold, messy, and full of life. "Why don't you draw?" he asked. Mia laughed. "I'm too busy for that." The boy tilted his head, as if confused by her response. He tore a page from his sketchpad, handed her a pencil, and said, "Everyone has time to create something." Reluctantly, Mia took the pencil and sketched a simple flower. It was crude compared to the art she used to make, but the act of drawing stirred something deep inside her. The boy smiled, as if satisfied, and ran off. That night, Mia bought a sketchbook. Art, which had once been her refuge, became her solace again. She started drawing during her free time, and soon her passion grew into a side project, something that brought her a sense of fulfillment she hadn't felt in years. Months later, Ethan, now a manager at the cafe, decided to decorate its walls with local art. He posted an open call for submissions, and Mia, encouraged by friends, decided to send her sketches. The day she visited the cafe to see her work displayed, she noticed Ethan sitting at one of the tables. Something about him seemed familiar. They struck up a conversation, and soon realized their connection to the same bench. Ethan shared how it had helped him rebuild his life, and Mia told him how it had reignited her passion. Inspired by their shared experience, they decided to create an initiative called Bench Stories, inviting people to share moments that had transformed their lives. Through art, writing, and storytelling, they helped others find hope and connection. The old wooden bench, once overlooked, became a symbol of second chances. For Ethan, Mia, and many others, it proved that, even in life's darkest moments, a spark of kindness or a simple nudge could lead to profound change. It was a reminder that transformation begins not with grand gestures, but with small, courageous steps.